Have you ever wondered what would happen if a modern tank battalion, armed to the teeth with the latest technology, suddenly appeared in medieval Europe? It sounds like the plot of an epic movie, but let's break down this fascinating what-if scenario. Picture this. A battalion of about 40 main battle tanks like the M1 Abrams materializes on a grassy plain in 13th century France. With them are support vehicles, mechanics, fuel tankers, and a few hundred highly trained soldiers. For the local medieval population, this would be an event of apocalyptic proportions. These aren't just strange metal beasts, they're louder than thunder, faster than any horse, and capable of spitting fire and destruction beyond their wildest nightmares. Initially, the sheer shock and awe would be the tank's greatest weapon. A medieval army, even a large one with thousands of knights, archers, and infantry, would be utterly terrified. Their primary weapons are swords, spears, and bows. What could a longbow arrow possibly do against feet of composite armor? A knight on horseback, the pinnacle of medieval military might, would be completely powerless. A single tank could plow through their formations without even taking a scratch. The psychological impact would be devastating, leading to mass desertions and collapsed morale before a real battle even began. Let's talk firepower. A modern tank's main cannon can accurately hit a target from miles away with explosive shells. Imagine a medieval castle, a symbol of immense power and security built to withstand months of siege. A few well-placed shots from a tank's cannon would reduce its stone walls to rubble in minutes. The defenders inside wouldn't even know what hit them. Traditional siege tactics like trebuchets and battering rams took weeks or months to be effective. A tank does the same job in less than an hour. The entire concept of fortifications would become obsolete overnight. But it's not all one-sided. The tank battalion would face some serious long-term challenges. Their biggest enemy wouldn't be knights, but logistics. An M1 Abrams tank consumes fuel at an astonishing rate. We're talking gallons per mile. The battalion would arrive with a finite supply of fuel, ammunition, and spare parts. There are no gas stations or advanced factories in medieval Europe. Every mile driven, every shot fired, would bring them closer to becoming 70-ton paperweights. They would need to find a way to produce more of what they need. But how? You can't just refine crude oil into jet fuel with medieval technology. You can't forge the complex alloys needed for tank armor or manufacture advanced electronics for their targeting systems. The soldiers would have to get incredibly creative. Perhaps they could use their modern knowledge of engineering and chemistry to kickstart a mini-industrial revolution, but that would take years, even decades. In the meantime, their technological advantage would be a ticking clock. Another major hurdle would be the terrain. Modern tanks are designed for roads and relatively open country. Medieval Europe was a patchwork of dense, ancient forests, swamps, and treacherous mountain passes with very few proper roads. A tank could easily get bogged down in mud or find its path blocked by terrain that a horse could easily navigate. Their incredible speed and mobility would be severely limited in many regions. Then there's the human element. The soldiers of the battalion would be strangers in a strange land. They'd be immune to some diseases, but vulnerable to others. They would need food, clean water, and shelter. How would they interact with the local population? They could try to be benevolent, using their power to protect the innocent and establish a peaceful new order, or they could become ruthless conquerors, carving out their own kingdom with an iron fist. Their advanced knowledge could be their most sustainable weapon. They understand sanitation, medicine, crop rotation, and engineering. By sharing this knowledge, they could win allies and build a stable society around them. They could teach people how to build aqueducts, improve farming yields, and treat illnesses, making them seem like miracle workers. This soft power could be far more effective in the long run than the hard power of their tank cannons. So, who would win? In the short term, the tank battalion's victory would be absolute and overwhelming. They could defeat any army, shatter any castle, and topple any king who stood in their way. No medieval force could realistically stand against them in open combat. However, over the long term, the picture gets much murkier. As their fuel runs out, their ammunition dwindles, and their tanks break down one by one, their incredible advantage would fade. They would be forced to adapt, to integrate, and to rely on their minds more than their machines. Ultimately, their survival would depend not on their ability to conquer, but on their ability to build. They might start as gods of war, but they would have to become architects of a new future to endure. What do you think? Could they pull it off, or would they eventually be overwhelmed by the sheer scale and primitive reality of the medieval world? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this trip through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more AHA Moment. See you in the next video.